Hi, I just want to give a quick walkthrough of this first module. I always like to kind of introduce each module. This module is going to focus on two things. It's acclimating you to the course, and then it is basically introducing you just to the study of philosophy. Ethics is a branch or a subset of philosophy, kind of an area in philosophy that philosophers study. And so in order to kind of do any discussion of any area of philosophy, I think you kind of need to know the context. What is philosophy? Where does it fit? What are the other areas of philosophy? Things like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have, and let me just share my screen as I have in the past. So we start off here, we have the checklist and what we're doing. We have a video on what is philosophy, and then we have a couple of discussion boards, and then we have the Mod 1 exam. The Mod 1 exam is 45 minutes with 25 questions. And if you click on it, what you're gonna find is you're gonna find about half the questions, maybe not quite half, are going to be on things like how many points is the module 2 exam? Which of the following is true of the modules for this course? They're all due on Thursdays, things like that. But it's also going to have questions like what philosopher coined the term philosophy, the concept of philosophy. What does the word Sophia mean? Things like that. And those are all in the lesson. So it's kind of a combination of these two things. The other thing you'll find in here is you'll find two discussion boards. There's an icebreaker and then a stealing a house or a brick. The stealing a house or a brick is basically asking you kind of to get your ethical thinking flowing, discussing that and have a conversation about that, etc. The What is Philosophy has that. And then, of course, with all this, it's due on Thursday, June 11th, which means you only have a few days to do it. It is a very short timeline. But at the end of the day, kind of acclimating to the course is important to do quickly, as well as just sort of, this is a very short lesson. It shouldn't take you more than a couple hours to do it. It's no more than a normal week's worth of work. So all that is what you need to get done this week. I would encourage you to do the discussion board, the extra credit one. If you find any errors in the course as you do it, make sure to let me know. I will send out an email probably a little bit later today, but I have to update every course as the semester starts. I changed a few things about the course this semester. And so at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that are different. And sometimes, you just make little grammatical errors, or sometimes I forget to change a date, or I forget to update something here or there. I forget to put a link for a rubric, or I put the wrong rubric on something, things like that. These are all little minor things. If you find any of those errors, email me, and I always give extra credit. I figure if I make a mistake, it's points off me or points on you. And that's the way I do that. Finally, in the discussion board, if you go there, actually, I think in order for me to see that, I'd probably, just for purposes of it, I probably need to go to the grade book real quick. If you see there is a rubric, and the rubric does, I think I pointed this out before, does state, if you have to do at least an initial post, put the word count on it, it has to be at least 300 words. But you also need to respond to 2 other people. And those need to be substantive, thoughtful responses. They might be up to 100 words. I wouldn't think they'd be much longer than that, but they can be. They can be less than that, but where you actually give some thoughtful response. You have to do at least 2 of those. Now, if you do that, you've done the minimum required. And a minimum requirement, meeting minimums, is average work at best, and so that's a C. In order to go above that, you would have to go above and beyond what I would be the minimum. And usually what I kind of say is I want to see probably about 4 responses to other people. And I want to see that also evidence that you did that over several days. You didn't do it all just at once. And so that's kind of the way that's graded. This rubric kind of gives the basic gist of how that's done. So as I grade it, I'll click where you're at, and that will be that will give you some idea of where your grade is at and how you're doing. If you have any questions, let me know. I will grade as you make posts. So if I grade your first post, and you're like, well, I didn't respond to anybody, why don't I have? Yes, I will go back and grade that. Don't worry. I will go back. I just like to do it as I'm kind of working my way through. It's easier to do 10 a day than to do 30 in one day. I don't think I have anything else. If you have any questions, send me an email.